You're listening to PCI's Oral History Project. Welcome to today's episode of PCI's Oral History Project titled So Far Away. I'm Caitlin. We've all had personal experiences with significant historical events. Whether those experiences were inspiring or heartbreaking, we typically remember who was by our side. Through the stories of others, we can remember those times in our own lives and the people who helped us through them. PCI's Oral History Project aims to capture and preserve as many of these stories as possible. We've collected over 1 million stories so far, and our collection is growing every single day. Aria, from the class of 2005 at Wheaton College, has been a longtime favorite for many of us here at PCI, and she has a story for us today about one of those significant moments and how she got through it.
Wheaton holds an incredibly important place in my heart because I had only been at school for 7 days. It was, the first time I had ever been away from my family, and the worst disaster of my life happened while I was on this beautiful, idyllic campus, and I had never felt so far away from my family. I watched the towers hit live on television, and my family 4 blocks away, our home was nearly destroyed. My cousin worked in the second tower. I thought I would be an orphan. I thank especially Dean Sue Alexander and President Marshall, who immediately jumped into action. The school was so incredibly supportive. They made sure to find every single student with family in the New York area, to find them, make sure that they had heard from their families, made sure that we were in touch with the Red Cross and government officials. And I believe by the night of the 11th, when I had not heard from anyone, I think I was the only student on campus that had connected with family. And I actually didn't hear from my family for 3 days, and essentially lived with Dean Sue, and never felt so cared for, even though I felt that my world was over. When my mother finally got through, when she finally found a line that was open, I'll never forget my roommates running down the stairs of McIntyre, yelling, "Your mom's on the phone," and just falling to my knees because I had really, prayed and prayed, "Please don't let me lose my parents." One of my closest friends on campus was also from the city, and his parents had actually been at one of the airports, and with all the flights canceled, he had heard from his parents, and he stayed with me night and day, knowing just how awful this was for me, and he turned out to be my husband. I am so thankful that my parents survived, and I'm so thankful that at the end of the day we lost, worldly items instead of family members. This wasn't just a national tragedy. This was my neighborhood. This was where I grew up. And, they just said, take whatever time you need, go home, be with your family. I got to go home about a week later. And I spent all of December helping my mother down at Ground Zero. We, helped first responders. We made meals. And I needed that. I needed to be there. I needed to feel like I was helping. So we went to 25 funerals. I needed that. I don't know if I would have even been able to go back after that, but because they said to me, "You got to take care of yourself. You've got to go back and, help your family." That saved my college career, that I was able to come back, after that winter break, and felt so much more secure and safe. And I could go back to New York anytime I wanted. If I needed to take time, they let me take time. And I don't think I would have graduated with honors and had such an incredible Wheaton career if they hadn't seen that, this was something that hadn't been seen before. And we were kindred spirits because we were all there together on that day. Even though it was so horrible and seared in my mind, the way I was taken care of those 3 days, I will do whatever I can for Wheaton for as long as I live.
Often, the people who supported us during difficult times can become the turning point in our perspective on our own experiences. The people who supported us through those moments are the reason we got through them. With the help of her friends and the faculty at Wheaton College, Aria was able to have a successful career at Wheaton, graduating with honors. PCI's Oral History Project is the only program in the world that collects and preserves stories just like Aria's. There are millions of untold stories lying dormant in the hearts and minds of people just like you, and our hope is to have a conversation with you very soon. Thank you for listening to the Oral History Project. This podcast was brought to you by Publishing Concepts LP, all rights reserved. If you'd like to collect stories for your organization, contact us at publishingconcepts.com. We'd love to hear your stories.